What is up, everybody? Today on the Reflog Show, the crew plays Who Tweeted It, where we try to guess who tweeted a random tweet this past week. Nick, this is a new one. Then our featured interview with Guardians VP Curtis Danburg live in studio, getting you guys ready for opening day. Then we'll look at all of this week's Cleveland games and bets, where we break down all of the Cleveland sports headlines and odds presented by Tipico. Let's kick it off and have a show.
It's time! Streaming live from Cleveland, Ohio, presenting the undefeated, undisputed heavyweight podcast of the world, The Big Play Reflog Show!
Okay, do you need medical attention?
Yeah.
What is wrong?
I don't know. I know damn nothing. Attack by Chuck. To the 10. He's the front to the 5. He dips out back. Touchdown.
It's time! The Big Play Reflog Show!
Alrighty, welcome on into the Big Play Reflog Show. We're kicking things off fast. We're kicking things off furious because Guardian season is here. Woo! Our featured interview is here in studio with us. Today we have Cleveland Guardians VP of Communications and Community Impact, Curtis Danburg, joins the show. Curtis, thanks so much for stopping into Burke Lakefront Airport Studios with us.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah,
Appreciate you having me. And yeah, as I was telling you, driving in, I was like, am I really going to the airport for this? And came in here, great studio, and it's a pleasure to be here with all of you.
Well, we're excited because obviously Guardians baseball is this week, and then the opening day for you guys shortly thereafter. What changes can fans expect to see at the ballpark this season? Obviously, we know that you guys are always busy throughout the offseason, thinking of new fun ideas, thinking of ways to make the ballpark more engaging for fans. What's new coming around this season for fans to get pumped for?
So obviously we'll start with promotions. So obviously promotions are near and dear to every fan's heart. Pretty much half of our games, 40 of the 81 games, have some sort of promotion tied to the game. So we're all about providing value. I'm sure we'll get into the ticketing elements here as well. New food items. We have a couple things we'll be announcing on Thursday. Looking forward to that. But beyond that, as far as physical changes to the ballpark, you're not going to see that this year, because after the last out, we will start diving into our $202.5 million worth of renovations over the next 2 years. So a lot of exciting things happening, especially the upper deck and the terrace club and behind home plate. But as far as other new ticket offerings, I think what triggered me to come on here was our new rollout of the ballpark pass for $49.
Yeah, we saw that and we're like, $50 gets you into the stadium whenever you want. So how does this work?
It works exactly like that. You have basically a standing room only ticket for any game. It's $49 a month. So people are opting in for April, and then it'll keep rolling over. But for under $300, you can go to all 81 games and get into Progressive Field.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. One of the things that you mentioned when talking about those stadium renovations is that they were going to happen after the final out, of the season.
Now, November.
We all hope that is coming after they host that World Series trophy. Obviously, this was a big offseason, and it was a fun playoff run last year for the Guards. How cool does that make it for you? Obviously not dealing with the day-to-day of the baseball operations, but how fun is it to go to work when the team is good, when the city's excited, because it makes it a hell of a lot easier for us to come in here every week and talk about the team when everything's going well.
It's hard to put into words. So this is my 28th season. So I've seen a lot of highs and I've seen a lot of lows. Oh, thank you for that applause. But definitely our jobs are much easier and better when you're winning and you're on the upswing. And I think Tito said it best. Last year can't be just a feel-good story, winning 92 games, win the division. Nobody saw that coming, probably even us internally. We need to build on that, and that's what this year was about, adding Josh Bell in the middle of the order, adding Mike Zunino, adding time and experience to our roster after having 17 rookies last year. We're hoping to build on that.
So you said there's a food announcement coming Thursday. Any teases there? 99-cent hot dogs?
Not 99-cent hot, more varieties than price points, but you might have some variations of things with mac and cheese and various kinds of beef, or you might have some new a nacho component, so things like that.
Okay. I'll take it.
Maybe mix in some seafood. Just saying.
Wow,
you never know what might come out this year.
All right. Date night at the ballpark.
I'm still waiting for sushi. Is sushi going to come up on the menu?
Sushi was there a long time ago. Sushi's not coming back. I can tell you that there will be a noodle component to it, but no sushi. So a little bit heading in that direction, but not there yet.
Hey, on top of those changes, Curtis, Major League Baseball has made some changes with the pitch clock, the changes to the base sizes. How do you think that, have you guys had discussions about how that's going to change the game and anything it changes for you guys?
Well, first of all, just I was down in Arizona for 3 weeks, and it is unbelievable. It's going to dramatically change the way I think our fans engage with the game, and I think it's good for the game of baseball. I think we're going to be able to attract more fans. Just think about any of you have kids. You can't keep kids under 10 for a full game. And sometimes the best part and most memorable is when you're winning and 2 outs and you're up cheering and you see the fireworks at the end. They've never experienced that. Now with a game that could go 2 hours and 15 minutes, what we saw in spring training is fans were staying. And these games didn't even count. The starters were gone by the 5th inning, but people were staying because the pace of the game is so much better. So I'm excited. But I think to your question too is how is it impacting us? I think we have to look at things a lot differently from the standpoint of concessions. When do you cut off beer sales, fireworks? We have 6 o'clock first pitch. Yeah. 6 o'clock first pitches with fireworks in the summer. Like, how long are we going to have entertainment to delay until the sun goes down? Like, those are real things that we're dealing with, and we'll learn a lot this year. But overall, speed of game, the batting averages are up 20 points with the shift changes. We're seeing more base stealing because of the bases. So it's really incredible for the game.
So obviously a busy offseason. We got rule changes. We got Josh Bell. We got Mike Zunino. But there was a story that wasn't so good, and Terry Francona's scooter went missing. Do we have any leads on what happened to Francona's scooter? Because we saw that he got it back. We're glad that it's back. Any leads on what happened there?
I have a good idea how that went down. I will just let you know that, as we know, it was recovered a few days after and was returned to Tito, and nothing was impacted, nothing was wrong with it, and it's back in Tito's possession.
It's a great answer.
It's a great answer. When that happened,
there's always a story behind the story, but we'll leave it at that.
When it happened, we had Mike Polkin here, Cleveland comedian, and he had his theories on what had happened to it. So yeah, we're glad to see that Tito has it back, and we knew right when it happened that that's a crime that this city could not afford. So we knew that it would be found at some point.
Watching the Facebook mentions of people backing Tito, who did this? How can you do that? Everybody knows it's Tito's scooter. You don't touch Tito's scooter.
Yeah.
But that was Guards Fest morning. He reached out to Bart Swain, and he was supposed to meet Bart at 8:30 in front of the Hilton, and he's like, I'm not going to be there at 8:30. He's like, what's going on? He's my scooter got stolen. So it made for a long day. But that Monday after Guards Fest that weekend, he got it back, and all was good in the world.
That video was awesome, where he finally gets it back and just skirts right on off. So
I thought you were going to be talking about Tito being the most handsome manager in the American League.
More breaking news that we have.
Yeah.
We've talked about that a ton too.
He said that is the worst thing that's ever happened to him in his entire career, spanning his playing and managerial career, because we've been burying him. Chris Antonetti actually bought T-shirts for the entire coaching staff. He walked into one of his meetings, and there's 50 guys wearing these shirts with Tito's mug on it saying, the most handsome manager in the American League.
I would go as far to say in all of baseball, right? Like, who's the NL really have that's more
They
handsome
picked Buck
than
Showalter
Oh,
on the
come
NL
on.
side. So.
Yeah, yeah, right. So if I'm putting Tito against Buck, I like Tito's chances of most handsome manager in all of baseball. You know, another thing that happened this offseason, Curtis, was John Adams. And that was obviously a very tragic passing for everybody that's been a part of Cleveland baseball's community, that's been a fan, that's been a member of the media. You know, we also have heard some rumblings that there could be some special things in the works for John this upcoming season. Talk a little bit about John's legacy and what he really means to Cleveland and especially Cleveland baseball.
I mean, nearly 4,000 games attending, spanning almost nearly 50 years. He dedicated his life to support our organization. And he really took that and represented the fans on a daily basis. He was such an ambassador for the game and ambassador for our organization throughout the years. And, you know, one of the highlights of my career was interacting with him on a regular basis. He was always there whenever we needed him. And, you know, huge loss. And, you know, the past couple of years were really tough. He really hadn't been in the ballpark since 2019. Obviously, we had the COVID years in 2020, and then just his health kept deteriorating. He kept fighting. He kept that hope until the last day that he would make it back to the ballpark. And then, you know, that obviously didn't happen. But we've been able to, you know, we announced last year, and we wanted, people were saying, what are you going to do for him? It's like, well, we decided to do that last year while he was still living.
Yeah.
And he can be a part of it. So we took his bench and his bleacher seat, and we built a replica bronze of his drum, and we presented that to him at his nursing home in Fairview Park last summer, and it really blew him away. And that lives in Heritage Park right now. We're going to have a plaque in Heritage Park as well as up by his seat location, and we'll do some things on opening day to honor him, as well as probably the 50th anniversary is in August. But rest assured, we will keep that drum going in honor of him for years to come.
That's fantastic.
Is it a closely guarded secret how long you guys as an organization made him buy 2 tickets, one for his drum, and when that stopped?
Well, I think when it stopped was probably around 2010. So many years he was on his own, purchasing on his own. But I think it was like around 2010. Vic Gregovitz at the time oversaw our marketing and sales, and I think that's when we decided at that point that, hey, why is he paying? We need to pay and take advantage of that and thank him for all those years. So I think it was around that era where we took on and provided him season tickets.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. He was quite a character and just so such a great part of Cleveland Indians and now Cleveland Guardians baseball for years. And, you know, he's part of that in-game experience, and I always enjoy going up to the games. And you guys have been very proactive and continually trying to make the ballpark experience better. So I do have a complaint to bring up, though.
Reflog? No, I can't believe it.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
I never hear complaints from fans.
I know. It never happens, right? But when you have rain delays, and things.
Oh my God! Here he goes again.
Here he goes. We've had to hear this 50 times.
Letting fans know what's going on, because I've been there with my family. I was there right after that Elton John whole fiasco where they wrecked up the outfield, and then there were some delays after that. I was at one of those games, and there were like no in-game updates about that. Has there been any discussion about that this offseason about how to better maybe communicate to fans who are actually at the games for weather delays?
Yeah, and it's a great question, and I'm behind the scene. One of the other duties as assigned is the main point of contact for our weather operations. So I'm the one that's talking with Betsy Kling and Matt Wentz and Peyton and everybody at over at KYC, as well as with Major League Baseball and the other managers. We can go on for hours on all the stories that happened last year. We had 10 rainouts.
Oof.
Yeah,
there was only 48 Major League Baseball, and 12 of them were us. We had 2 on the road and 10 at home.
And I think Chris was probably at 8 of them.
Chris is the one you're
With
talking
the whole
about.
family too, in tow.
The one you're talking about, you probably saw. I was one of the guys out there with Tony La Russa and Tito, twice out there in left field, looking at the. My shoes were soaked. It was unbelievable for us to. We just couldn't play, and walking off the field with Tito, I'm seeing all these kids. Like, I was like, this is horrible.
You were looking at my kids. My
It
kids
probably
crying.
was.
I'm,
Yes, it was not
Dad,
good.
They're going to play baseball. I don't know, son. I'm looking at the scoreboard. It's not giving me any information.
That was the oddest thing. It was the first time we've ever It really wasn't because of rain. It was field conditions.
Yeah.
We've gotten accustomed to showing the radar on the screen. Well, obviously the radar showed there was no rain, but it was the rain that came beforehand, the 2 inches of rain that did not go away. So rest assured, it's something that we are talking about. Through the Ballpark app, we have a way of now to instant message fans, and I think we're going to use that technology to hopefully better communicate as well. But it's a good point. I certainly get in. It's hard because information's coming, it's changing. You don't want to put out false information, and there's so many moving parts with who you need to communicate with Major League Baseball. Like I said, the other team that goes behind the scenes, it's crazy. And I have a lot more gray hair. I'm surprised I even still have hair after last year.
I know your job's not easy at all, so I do appreciate that. And especially with the number of rainouts and everything else that you guys had last year. Boy, that must have been a nightmare. Coming into this year now, how was I, as a Columbus resident down here, how am I going to be able to watch the Indians, or the Guardians as they're called now?
It's another great question. I think the best way I can frame this is business as usual until we're told otherwise. So we fully expect to be in Bally Sports Great Lakes to start the season, and it's out of our hands. It's really in the legal dynamics, working with Major League Baseball and things like that. So it's not happening on a club level; it's happening at the league level, and that's another best way to say there's a lot of moving parts, and we'll have to see how things transpire over the course of the season.
So is there anything you could tell us about? I'd heard that Major League Baseball might take over some of the rights, and the Guardians were one of those teams that they had mentioned, I think, in some of the articles I had read. Is there anything you can tell us about that?
I can't, just because it can go in 10 different directions. So it's hard to pinpoint exactly how this is going to play out. If I knew, hey, if this were to happen, this is what's going to transpire. I don't know, because we don't know are we staying with Sinclair and Diamond Sports Group, or are they going to release us, and we're working with Major League Baseball. So I think that's what will come out in the wash here over the next few months, and then we'll see where we end up. It's a tough situation. For our fans, for us. This is another dramatic turn of events. You think about, you go from hosting an All-Star game to then 2020. You deal with everything with COVID and 60-game season, and then name change and what the name's going to be, and then a lockout, and then we unveil. It's like, can we just have one regular year? Now we have to deal with our TV rights. So
someone go give Curtis a raise. Come on.
It's not just me; it impacts the entire organization. So I'm just the one that gets to talk about it. But so hey, at the end of the day, and we keep saying we will be on TV. Our fans will get to see us. It's just a matter of when and how. But we will communicate that when the time is right.
Now, you communicated with us, bringing us full circle. Obviously, fans could watch on TV, but watching at the stadium is a completely different experience. With these $49 packs, you communicated with us early in the show that these are kind of going quick. How could fans get their hands on one of these to make sure that they could get into every game per month for $49?
Yeah, so go to CLEGuardians.com today. Like literally, the demand for this we've exceeded expectations, and there's only a certain amount that we can provide. Right. We can't have 10,000 in there because then nobody's going to be able to move around the concourse. So we are nearing capacity for the month of April, and the hope is that people roll those out throughout the whole year. So make sure you take advantage of that. Another thing, again, I talked at the outset, value. So not only with the Big League Pass, but 95% of our games will have tickets $20 or less. So another thing to remind people, say it's so expensive to come to the games. If you're an educated consumer, if you go to our website, we have a value specials page. You can see all the different ways you can save money. Our family pack, $80, gets you 4 tickets and $40 of loaded value to buy concessions or food. So again, great way. We want people, and we're going to be even more aggressive this year that's why we rolled out this ballpark pass. We want people to experience and support the team, and it makes such a dramatic difference. That place was rocking, obviously, in September and October, especially the postseason. We recognize April in Cleveland, and we were talking about before, 30-degree baseball is not the greatest thing ever, but the games will be quicker, which is positive. But once we get in and rolling in the summer and you got the promotions, we expect to have some big crowds.
Yeah, and there definitely will be some big crowds. I remember the playoff game last year. Oscar Gonzalez hits that walk-off, and the echoes of SpongeBob SquarePants' theme music just bellowing through downtown Cleveland. It's a lot of fun, and we're excited to have baseball back in Cleveland for another season. Curtis, thanks so much for stopping by the studio. This was a lot of fun.
Hey, wait! Before we let him off the hook, can I play a game
Oh,
of
no.
baseball?
I have one more
I have
complaint.
one more complaint.
I'm not going to complain. No.
I brought you a gift, Chris. Did you see right behind me?
Yeah, look at that, Chris. A new
What's that?
Guardians jersey.
Very nice.
Wait, hold
It's
on.
not in the shot.
Hold on. Shrink Curtis there.
See?
Look at that.
I saw you were missing some Guardians merch, so we changed it.
That's excellent. I appreciate that. That is fantastic. We do need more Guardians merch around there.
Yeah.
So, can we play a game of baseball cards, though? Would
Yeah,
you be
how are
up
we going to
for it,
play?
All right, let me get the music first of all.
He loves the carnival music.
You got to have the baseball music.
There
in
you
here.
go.
I was a big card collector growing up.
Oh, this is great.
Me
Okay,
too.
so basically what we do is I've got 2 packs of cards here. Both of them are from 1988.
Okay.
And I'll open up 1 pack for you and 1 pack for me. Out of those cards, I get 2 cards. You pick your 2 cards, and whichever has the 2 better players is our winner today.
Wow.
Make sense?
Okay.
So we've got Dundras 1988 and we got Score 1988. Which one would you like to be your pack, Curtis?
I'm going score.
That's a good
Score.
call. Never
Okay.
have any luck with
This is
Dunders.
my heyday in the 80s with baseball
Yeah,
cards.
so here we go. Yeah, we have to teach Nick along the way who these players are.
Oh, man.
Nick
Here we
was
go.
born in 2012.
No, come on.
We've got Fred Lynn.
So is this
center
the score or are
fielder.
these yours? Who are we doing first?
Yeah, Chris, who is this?
This is yours.
Okay.
Curtis.
All right.
Okay, these are the score ones. All right, Fred Lynn, center fielder from the Orioles. Mike Stanley, catcher from the Rangers.
Michael Stanley.
Yes. Brian Downing, left fielder from the Angels. Larry Sheets, outfielder from the Orioles. Oh, here you go. It's almost his day. Bobby Bonilla
There we
Oh.
go.
from the Pirates.
How many
This is
more
when he was
years
with the
left does
Pirates.
he have on the Mets payroll?
I
Yeah.
think it's about 10 still. I think
It's
they still got a
insane.
while to go.
Jack Howell from the Angels. Fred Williams, relief pitcher from the Reds. Jose Nunez from the Blue Jays. He's a pitcher. Jim Gott, pitcher from the Pirates. Sal Butera, catcher from the Twins. Boy, it's getting rough here.
Get a Cleveland
Oh.
player.
Jose Gonzalez, outfielder from the Dodgers. Stan Javier,
Nice.
outfielder from Oakland. Boy, this is rough. Jim Eisenreich, DH.
Royals.
Pascal P. Perez. Jeff Blauser.
It's a tough pack.
Yeah, geez.
You got 2 cards left. Hopefully you get something out of here. You got Mark Davidson and Gene Garber. Wow.
Oh, my
I
gosh.
am sorry.
But here's the call. Are we going in 98 or 88, the stats from that year or career?
Career.
Career.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's
Then
career.
I'm going Bonilla and I'm going Fred Lynn.
Fred Lynn.
I like
Okay.
that.
Very first
That was rough,
card.
though.
Okay.
That was a tough
Now we'll
pack.
be opening up my 1988 Dundras pack. Here we go.
Hopefully you get an Indian in there.
Yeah,
Right?
seriously.
No, Chris.
No.
Chris, who are the wild cards? Is it Julio Franco
Julio
and
Franco.
Dan Plesac?
I think so.
Is
Yeah.
Dan
yeah,
still
yeah.
a wild card? Okay.
Those are the 2. So we got Jim Presley from the Mariners, Jose Lind from the Pirates, Luis Keenways
Next.
from the Cubs. Lenny Dykstra. There you go. Lenny
Nails.
Dykstra from the Mets. Juan Castillo from Milwaukee. Mike Aldretti from the Giants.
Mike and off already. Chris Berman
Al-
line.
Al Pedrique, shortstop from the Pirates. Boy, these are really rough cards. These are rougher than normal. James Steele, outfielder from the Padres. Lance Parrish, he's not bad, from the Phillies. Danny Darwin from the Astros. Ken Daly from the Cardinals. I can't believe we haven't pulled one single Indian. Gus Polidor from the Angels. Hey, Cal Ripken Jr.
Oh, okay.
That's a good one. Chuck Krim and John Haben. So I think I'm going to go Lenny Dykstra and Cal Ripken versus your Fred Lynn and Bobby Bonilla.
Wow.
Dave, who's
Dave,
our
who do you
winner
think?
today?
Oh man, I feel bad not letting Curtis win here, but
You get Ripken.
yeah, it's over. It's over. Sorry,
Hall
Curtis.
of Famer.
Yeah,
I knew that was
yeah.
coming. Drop a Hall of Famer on there.
Oh yeah.
As you could tell, definitely not a stacked deck for either of us there. Not a single Indian. Wow, that's amazing.
Well, that was fun. I'm
I
glad we
appreciate
played.
you playing with me, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Brings
next
back
time I'm gonna
memories.
have to stack these decks, make the cards a little bit more interesting. But thank you
There
for
you
playing
go.
with me.
You got it.
Thanks for
All
stopping
right, thanks,
in,
Curtis.
It's a
We
pleasure.
appreciate it.
Go Guards.
Go
That's right.
Guards.
Go cards. Thanks, Curtis.
All right, Dave, what do you say that we get this thing going on? Should we do our new segment, Who Tweeted It? Now, are these tweets that we sent?
Let's go bets first, and then let's end with that.
All right, sounds good. Let's hit some big play bets. Alrighty, big play bets are presented by our friends at Tipico Sportsbook. Tipico lets you bet on all the biggest sporting events all year round. Guardians, Cavs, college basketball semifinals, and the championship are here. I know Dave is running up that leaderboard. They're always running cool
Am I,
boosts
Nick?
and promos
Am
at
I?
Tipico. So get on that Tipico app to start betting with us. Maybe start betting against us today. You
Oh,
must
my.
be 21 years or older to gamble in Ohio. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Dave, I think we need to have not just a talk, but an intervention on what is going on this show. I don't think it's... I'm not one that really believes in jinxes or bad luck, because I'm always kind of like you make your own luck in life kind of guy.
Sure.
But whatever is going on with this March Madness, and it's been a crazy tournament. There's been a lot of big upsets. There's been a lot of Cinderellas. I mean, literally look at this Final Four, FAU, SDSU, crazy. And nobody saw this happening. But on a game-to-game basis, to lose these parlays by one leg at a time, man, I don't know what's going on here.
Oh, it's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. I mean, so we were at Top Golf yesterday with Tipico, and I was showing you my bet slip. Oh, I was scrolling. Lost.
Same.
I need to step it up.
So overall results since March 6th, I can't believe that I'm in first place at 500. And if anybody's familiar with gambling, I mean, if you're 500, you're doing a pretty good job. Chris, you're behind me at 6-10. Dave is 5-9, and Gab are 4-7. Dollar Dog Nick put in the notes that these look like Brown season records. Well, I'll give you
Aw.
one. I am 0-16 on my last 16 bets. I'm not kidding. So I'm done until opening day. I am done until opening day. March
Oof.
Madness is dead to me. College basketball is dead to me. We'll re-up and we'll try things out on opening day. But till then, I'm done.
Chris,
I've
how
had
you
a rough
doing?
ride, too. I've had a rough ride here lately too. It's, I always go for those boosts that they got, and the boosts are fantastic from Tipico, but you know that they're generally going to be a longer shot, right? And that's the reason they boost the odds. And I love going for those. I had one last night. I had Donovan Mitchell going over 34. I was thinking if he hits 35 points today, that's 10,000 for his career. He'd like to do it at home. That makes a whole lot of sense. We knew the Cavs were probably going to beat the Rockets, and it ended up being a little bit closer than what we thought it was going to be. So I thought that'd be good because you get more Donovan action in there, but it just didn't happen. He was still in the 20s with points yesterday. He didn't even touch the 30s, let alone get to 34, 35 points, which is what I needed. So got the Cavs on the win, but that was it. And those are the ones that get me. You always get a couple of legs of these things and then have that one that hangs out there. And that was the one. So I'm addicted to the boosts, and I'm going to continue to play them. But I know that they're going to be a little bit longer shots, so I'll just take the payoffs as they come.
That's the nice thing about the boosts, right? Is that once you get one, once you see one go through, it feels a lot better moving forward. So, Chris, we're going to take a look at some guards bets for this upcoming week, and I want to start. I want to start right at the opener. Why not? Let's take a look at bets for the opener. Guardians at Mariners. First off, the 10.
Don't mind me just taking pictures.
Is that what that is? I'm
Yeah,
trying to figure out what
they're
that sounds.
screenshotting things on the Mac. 10 p.m. first start. I would love to go to the open bar that Major League Baseball has when they make these schedules. Why in the world are the Guardians starting the season off at 10:10?
You can't even do anything here locally. I mean, you can't go to. You could go to a bar, but it's not the
Last
same.
one, sorry.
10-10. I mean, that's crazy. And then, everybody think of the children, right? My kids aren't going to be able to watch that on a Thursday night at 10:10. Come on. Takes all the magic out of it. I hate that. I wish baseball games, when they open, would be in the late afternoon, mid-afternoon, start it off with the Reds and be very traditional on that day. I think that makes it special. Now, of course, with it starting so early, it's always going to be cold, so you're still going to have to play in domes and you're still going to have to play in the South, but that's fine for the most part. But get that game a little bit earlier. Let the kids watch it. Let me watch it because I've got work in the morning. And I'm with you.
Now, I do like it in respect of betting, which this segment is all about. Obviously, we got games to bet on all throughout the day. So it is nice, especially if, I said I'm not betting until opening day. Better believe that I'll be betting on games before the Guardians at 10:10. So it'll be nice.
Nick, by the time you get to 10:10, you're going to be like chasing it. You're going to be like, I've lost every game. I got to get this Guardians game tonight to save my day.
Baseball is my strong suit. So I'm telling you guys, baseball season, we're making it all back. Let's take a look at some of these bets. Guardians at Mariners for the season opener. Let's all lock in our bets right now. Will the Guardians win the season opener? And I do have some numbers behind this. The Guardians are 1-4 in their last 5 season openers. They're 2-6 over their last 8. However,
so they got the same record as the Browns over their last 5.
Yeah, it hasn't been great. Bieber making his 4th straight start on opening day. I'm going to go ahead and say that the Guardians are due. Give me Guardians money line for this game. It'll probably be a plus money bet just because it is on the road in Seattle. Seattle's going to be a good team this year in the AL. They kind of peaked at a weird time last year, but they're going to be good. They're going to be in that wild card conversation. So I'm going to kick things off straight out the gate. Positivity, Guards money line. It'll be a plus money bet. I'm picking the Guards.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. It doesn't make for great radio, but I'm going to agree with you. I got to go with the Guards. Early in the season, positivity, let's go. We just had Curtis in. He's got me all pumped up to go Guardians. So I'm going to pick the Guardians, go ahead and beat Seattle, have Shane Bieber have a solid performance to really set the table for the season for us.
Yeah.
By the way, Nick, will it be the last time that Shane Bieber starts an opener for the Cleveland Guardians?
Ooh. Yes, but only because Tristan McKenzie will start the next opener.
There you go.
Really
That
cool.
was the next question is how is it going to play out? And that would be interesting because Tristan, I assume he's okay.
Yeah, he is.
They pulled him out, just precautionary measures out of the spring training game yesterday. But yeah, he's progressing, right?
Yeah, he is. And hopefully this is the season that he could take that next leap. I mean, we heard for how many, it feels like a decade, Tristan McKenzie, top prospect in the Guardian system, certainly one of the top pitching prospects in all of baseball. He has given us some fantastic moments in his young Major League Baseball career. I think this is the year that he really figures it out 1,000%, puts it all together, and becomes the ace that the Guards expected him to be all these years. So I'm very excited about Mr. McKenzie. Dave, opening day, Guardians, Mariners, who do you like?
Over. I'm going over.
You're not even going to bet on the game?
I'm too nervous. I
Too nervous.
I
It's
love
1-162.
betting the over of any baseball game.
It is fun.
Yes, just runs. I'm going over. I'm not picking one. Do I have to?
You're
do
going
that
to
all
bet the
season long?
over in a game that Shane Bieber starts.
Yeah, it's going to be low. We're going to score.
All right.
We're going to start this off right, Nick.
Oh, man. We talk about getting things on the right track, Dave, and you sell me it by saying
So you
that
would
you're-
do what? Under?
I wouldn't touch it. I'm riding the positivity. I'm riding with Shane. I'm riding Guards
fine.
money line. It'll probably be plus money.
Nick, you do know an over. If it's 7-0 Guardians is an over, right?
I guess so, but I imagine we're going to be against their ace.
But see,
too.
this is making me feel really good because you don't like it.
See,
point.
but that's what people on Twitter have already started to do. And I got a lot of that this week in that Bama game. A lot of people were betting against Bama because I said I like Bama. So, guys, don't bet against the Guardians just because I said it. Guardians are going to be good this year. They're going to win us all a lot of money.
There we go.
All right, let's go Shane Bieber.
Okay.
Over, under 6.5 strikeouts. Bieber averaged 6.4 per start last year. And in the last 3 season openers, Bieber has struck out 4, but then 12, and then 14. Shane is good on opening day.
So is that the last 3 years?
Correct. 4 in his first ever opening day, and
Okay.
then 12, and then 14 was his most recent. So I'm gonna go over. Will never bet against a Guardians pitcher that they produced to have under a total amount of strikeouts. Not this organization. It's a pitching factory.
Yeah.
Nick, not only will I go over, I'll go double it. I'll bet he has 13.
Wow.
How about that?
And they probably will, obviously we do this show live on Monday evenings. When that line comes out, it probably will be a little bit higher than
I think it will be.
6.5.
I bet it's
so-
like 8.5.
Yeah, but I'm even taking that. I'm with Chris. I definitely think he at least hits 10 strikeouts on opening day. So I think we're all riding with Biebs and the over. This is a new fun thing that Tipico is doing, and I'm very excited about this. And it's called Daily Dingers, where they're going to boost players that will hit home runs every single day for us on the Tipico Sportsbook app. So we're going to go around the room and make our bet who will hit the first home run of the season for the Guardians. And if we want to look at some totals, Jose hit 29 last year. Naylor hit 20 last year. Andres Jimenez hit 17. Bell hit 17. Oscar Gonzalez hit 16. Hit 11. Who do we like to hit that first bomb for the Guards of 2023?
Give me Josh Naylor. Just
All
because
right.
it'd be so much fun. Have him set the tone. Hit the first dinger. Why not?
I think it's going to be the newcomer.
I love his whole
I have a
vibe.
feeling.
Really, Josh Bell.
I do. Chris, remember your favorite player, the assassin, when he came up and he hit that
Bobby Bradley.
almost ground roll double, like it went up into the sky forever, and I was like, this guy's gonna be so good. It was the first game he had come up. I think Josh Bell is gonna have a home run in the first game of the season.
That's what I should ask Curtis about. What's Bobby Bradley up to? By the way.
Your old friend, Chris.
My old friend. I miss him so. The assassin. You talk about what a great nickname. How did that not work out?
Chris, I thought you were gonna bring up like a notepad of all of your complaints to Curtis. when you said like, hey, you know what? I have a couple complaints here.
You know what I
His
hate?
face was like, oh boy.
Like Andy Rooney over here from 60 Minutes. Nick probably has no idea who that is. Just doing my, what grinds my gears with him. I think those are legitimate concerns. The
All right.
weather report come on, in stadium, you got to bring that
There you
up.
go.
Sorry,
My
I'm taking
home
What's
run.
up? What's up, Nick?
I'm going with old reliable, Jose.
Jose.
Yeah, Jose Ramirez hits the first one. You can no longer pitch around him because you got Josh Bell right behind him. I think this really is going to benefit Jose. It's going to benefit Bell too, because if you look behind Bell, well, he's got Oscar Gonzalez. They got so many big bats. Obviously, now still, we need Gonzalez to make that jump that we all expect. Even Naylor, you hope, takes that next step. But man, if those guys do, and if Jose is the MVP candidate that we've grown to know and love here in Cleveland, Ohio, there's going to be some bombs hit at Progressive Field, especially once that weather warms. But first of the season, Chris has Naylor, Dave has Bell, and I'm going with old reliable Hosey.
And that's not the opener, right? That's
Just the first of the year.
first of the year. Okay.
Yep. So if it misses in the opener, we got to double down, and we got to do it for the next game and the next game until eventually
I'm with
that
you.
hits. But I think they could get one in the opener. I think start the season with a bang, especially since everyone was kind of beefing on them last year about the whole bloop and blop type of offense that they operated.
Which is going to work out really well, I think, this year with the shift being outlawed. I think that's going to make a big impact for this team.
Now, I can't believe that this number is so low. So I think I just gave away my bet. And this is an actual bet that you can make on Tipico right now. Over under season total for the Guardians. One of my favorite bets to make before the season every single year is at 86.5. They won 92 last year and 90 plus in 5 of their last 6 full seasons. Obviously, leave the COVID weird year out of it. I think it's a no-brainer that the Guards go over 86.5. And also, they're still plus money to win this division on Typical. I think they're like plus 130, plus 140 in that ballpark. No pun intended. I think I really, really, really at least like throwing $20 on the Guardians to win over 86.5. Chris, what are you thinking?
Who do they have like eating the Guardians' lunch? Do they have the White Sox? Is that what everyone's thinking?
That's what I'm wondering.
That I mean, they do have the second best odds to the White Sox to win the division, and then the Twins and the Tigers from there. But yeah, I don't really get it. There's always talk every single year that the Royals are going to be better. This is the year that the Tigers are going to be a little bit better.
The 65 and 97 Royals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I get that they have the young prospects and stuff, but to win these games in the majors, when you have Shane Bieber and you have Tristan McKenzie as your one-two, I mean, it makes winning games and stacking wins when you're looking at these bet totals a hell of a lot easier.
I mean, I could see our total coming down just a bit, but I still think it's going to be in the high 80s, and I think that may be the floor for this team. So in that case, I'm taking the over as well, 86.5. That seems like a value pick.
Yeah, last year it was Guardians 92, White Sox 81, Twins 78, Tigers 66, Royals 65.
So maybe they're banking on Chicago being a bit better.
I mean, we beat up on some pretty bad teams last year, but still, that's Major League Baseball. I mean, that's not going to substantially change, I don't think. This division, there's nobody that particularly scares me.
Dave, what do you think? Over?
I'm trying to think what's a better bet. The over? What was it? 86.5?
Yeah.
Or to win the division?
To win the division is
it's plus,
it's the
right?
better payout, yeah, because it's plus
So I
money
feel
still.
like if we win over 86.5, we'll probably win the division.
Mm-hmm.
So
Let them bowl.
I'll do over. I
You
wish
gonna
you
go
could
both?
parlay
Do
that.
That's parlay.
I
it?
know.
It won't. Yeah,
It won't
let you do those. Yeah, I'll take the over.
Cool. Man.
Look at us. Optimism abounds.
Yeah, no kidding.
How could you not after last year?
I know, and I think this room is just ready for some baseball.
Yes.
Deservedly so.
Well,
Yes,
we
Jersey up there.
Yeah, right. That was a nice gift.
Curtis, what a good guy.
What a guy. Alrighty, let's get into some basketball. We've mentioned that this room is ready for playoff baseball, but also playoff basketball, which is even closer. The Cavs play the Knicks on Friday. It's the last opponent on their schedule that has a record better than 500. Who wins? Cavs versus Knicks. The Cavs are 0-2 versus New York this year.
Yeah, that doesn't scare me. Bring on the Knicks. Cavs are going to sweep the Knicks. Let's go.
All right, but do you like them this Friday? Cavs money line on the road in Madison Square Garden.
I was
Chris
thinking for
is
the
getting
playoffs.
ahead
I'm
of
already getting
himself.
ahead. I'm putting the cart way ahead of the horse now. I don't know. That's sure. Give me the Cavs.
Sure.
All righty, Dave.
I don't
what
know.
do you think?
At this point, I'm like, can we fast forward to the playoffs?
Yeah,
Well,
that is
yeah.
the thing. I don't think there's much more to learn that we're going to learn in these next couple
No,
of
but
games.
there's still some to play with. I mean, we haven't clinched home field or home court advantage for
Or
round
home
one.
field for that.
Or home field. Yeah, I got talking baseball here for too long. What do we need? 2 or 3 more games to clinch?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And this one is at the Field House. I misspoke. It's not at MSG.
Oh, it's at
It's
home.
in Cleveland on Friday.
Yeah, so
We'll
I
gun
would-
for this one. I could see us
I
gunning.
think, yeah, especially the difference between us playing away and at home this year, they're going to be fighting pretty hard for that home court advantage.
I think so too, especially with the Knicks being right behind you. Obviously, they're in a bit of a hole. They're kind of like 6 games back from the Cavs right now. Maybe not that many, but they're definitely a far cry back. Yeah, 5.5 games. And the Knicks are in a bit of a skid. They've lost 4 of their last 10 only were winners. So I'm going to go Cavs money line as well. Man, this is an optimistic show this
It
week.
is.
And it's scaring me, but I think that just means that better things are on the horizon for our Cleveland sports. God, I hate that we even have
real
to.
quick here before we leave that Cavs.
Yes.
Isn't it interesting? And have you guys noticed this with the NBA? You get to this time of the season, you look less about the composition of the teams or how good they are, and more about motivations for both ends,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
You look about motivations for the team that's in the playoffs. If they've clinched, do they have anything to play for? If they're at the lower end, are they looking for a draft pick? Are they looking to get in the lottery, improve their chances in the lottery? Do they have guys who are going to be playing out over their skis? You know, it's a completely different type of basketball once you get down to like these last 10 games or so.
Yeah, it is. And then you factor in too, and what I'm very curious and excited to watch over these next couple games for the Cavs and just the motivation for fans to turn on the game is what do the playoff rotations look like for JB Bickerstaff? Because I think against some inferior opponents, we're going to get a good look at what the Cavs are going to do. I mean, they have vets that have been around the block before. I mean, Jetty's played in the finals. Donovan's been in the playoffs. We know he's going to play a ton of minutes, but is it going to be Jetty? Is it going to be Karras? Is it going to be Okoro, for defensive purposes when those stakes get raised? I'm excited to see what that looks like for the Cavs down the stretch here.
Or is it going to be straight Lopez time the rest of the season?
All
Regular.
right.
I mean, maybe. I think there's an argument to be
You're going
made.
to see some
but-
Lopez.
Give him
I
some
would
run.
work in
Maybe a little
Lopez.
Lopez.
Keep everybody
little,
rested.
Yeah, a little Lopez.
Yeah, keep these guys rested and healthy for this playoff push for sure. All right, let's do it. Final four is Saturday in Houston. Semifinals are here for college basketball. San Diego State University is 2-point favorites against Florida Atlantic. I'm going to just pick the dog, and I'm going to pick Florida Atlantic.
Really?
Yeah, why not? They kind of played spoiler all tournament long. I was a little bit bummed that they knocked out Marquise Noel.
Right.
So I'm going to keep picking them to just keep playing spoiler in Florida Atlantic in a national championship game. It's wild that one of these two teams are going to be
insane.
playing for a natty in just a couple weeks.
All right, I'm going to go opposite of you just so someone in here wins. We'll have a guaranteed win.
That's right.
One of
Hedging
us
your
will
bets.
win.
Chris, who do you like?
I'm going to ride with Florida Atlantic, and the reason for that is that, and here's a typical success story. I took a $5 free bet. I threw it on them against Tennessee and ended up winning.
Oh, look at that.
Wow.
How about that? I was like, oh, why not? I got a $5 free bet. I'm going to throw it on kind of a longer shot out of that slate of games, and I threw it on them, and I ended up taking the W.
There you go.
There's
that.
nothing better than logging in and seeing a bet credit right at the top
know.
there. It's a great
Yes.
feeling. Great feeling.
And then, like, when that bet credit wins, like when you actually put your brain to use and don't just put it on a 15-leg parlay and actually put it on something that hits, feels even better.
I wouldn't know, Nick. I wouldn't know.
Me neither. All right, let's look on the other side of that bracket. UConn, 4.5-point favorites against Miami. Coach Larinaga, man, he has the Miami Hurricanes playing very, very, very good basketball. Chris, I'll start with you in this game. Who do you like, UConn or the U?
Give me the U. You matter. I'm riding with Bernie Kosar here. I want to see the U continue on. I mean, these teams that are left, none of them really excite me much. So I might as well at least go with our friend Bernie and go with the U. You matter.
You matter. I'm with you there, Nick.
I'm going to go contrary.
Oh, you hate Bernie Kosar?
I
Why do
love
you hate
Bernie.
so?
I love Bernie, but we had John Fanta on with Chico on Chico Borman show.
Phenomenal interview, by the way.
Great interview. And he really liked UConn just because he explained, listen, if you've ever been to that campus out there in Connecticut, there's nothing going on. Your only option is to play basketball. And that's what these kids want to do. I like UConn. Give me UConn. Give me the 4.5.
Now, to be fair, Fanta's coming off an interview with Bill Murray. Huge UConn fan. So he's riding high there. Put that into it. I don't know.
I'm riding with them, Dave.
All right.
Give me UConn.
All right.
All righty. I think it's time now, officially, for us to do our new segment of Who Tweeted It?
All right. This is so. Let me
Yeah.
just preface this. This is a rough draft.
That's fantastic, by the way. We're all about rough drafts around.
All right, but if this sticks and it's something we want to go with, I'll fancy this up in the future here. So what we're gonna do here, Chris, is I have some redacted tweets. Well, the tweets weren't, but the name and the profile pic are no longer there. You and Nick have to guess who tweeted it.
Very good. Should I do my little read into this first?
Sure.
Go for it.
Do we have any music for who tweeted it?
Yeah, why not?
Who Tweeted It is brought to you by ShackNews.com. Shack News, your go-to site for video games and more, with news, guides, reviews, and previews, including this week's featured article previewing the upcoming League of Legends RPG game, The Mage Seeker. Mage Seeker. And remember that you can join in on all the discussions using the Shack News Cortex and subscribing to their Twitch channel. So if you're a gamer, Shack News is the site for you. Check them out on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch at the handle @CheckNews and @CheckNews.com.
There we go. All right. First tweet. Cavs get it back in order, led by Allen, and clinch a playoff position. Go Cavs. Who do you think tweeted that?
Is that AC?
Yeah, that looks like an Austin Carr one.
Let's check the quote tweets. That's where you want to go if you want to see if it's an Austin Carr.
Yeah, I agree. Go Cavs.
You guys nailed it.
Wow.
Well done. All right, moving on.
How good did that feel, by the way?
What?
God, I'm not doing this next one. I'm walking off. I see the next one already.
All right, Chris,
I know who it is.
here's the next tweet. I had an angry rant in Spaces because the Browns weren't in on Cook/Hopkins. It felt like Klee went all in on Watson, but wasn't finishing the job with weapons. With a new wide receiver core, that's now the essence of nightmares for defenses. I'd like to apologize for ever doubting AB.
Now, this isn't who you think it is.
Whoa, hold on.
Oh.
Who does Chris think it is? Who tweeted this, Chris?
Well, the Spaces I assumed was a huge hint, and so I was going to go Chops, and I assume you guys say no, that's not true.
I didn't say anything.
I did.
That would be my guess.
All
if I
right,
was
Chris is
to
going
formally
Chops.
I think this is a
Nick?
Nick Carnes. I think this one. I think this
Is it Nick Carnes?
I saw that one. I knew it. You know why? You know how I knew? You know what gave it away? Is he always does the Andrew Barry Bitcoin eyes thing.
Oh, was that it?
And that's what gave it away. Carnes always does that.
Ah, very interesting. Okay. Yeah. That was a good
Oh,
one.
this segment is too much.
Good
already.
work, Nick. Good work.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
2 for 2.
Last one. Yeah, you guys are. Chris is
I'm 1 for
1 for 2. Nick 2 for 2. All right. The World Baseball Classic is the true World Series. Awesome baseball, fun to watch.
I would say Trump.
Chris, who do you think? It's the greatest ever. No one can beat
It's
it.
so good.
World Baseball Classic is the true World Series. Awesome baseball, fun to watch. Chris, who tweeted it?
It's the true World Series. Nick, I'm going to let you go. I got to think on a second here.
Is this our friend Meisel? Is this a Zach
Oh, Zach?
Meisel? I'm going to go with the baseball guy.
All right.
since
So,
it's a-
I mean, it's a hot take. The true World Series, the World Baseball
yeah,
Classic.
see, so that would not come from a reporter.
I wouldn't think
Not
so.
a baseball reporter, not a baseball guy.
Okay.
Is this Adam the Bull? 'Cause he's a big baseball fan. I'm locking in my answer. It's not a beat writer.
Okay.
That covers baseball
going
for
Bull?
sure. I'm going Adam the Bull.
Adam the Bull. Chris.
Okay, I'm going to go kind of off the board here. Every
Really?
once in a while, he'll wander from sport to sport. So I'll go Tony Grossi.
Tony Grossi.
No. Who is it? Let's do the grand reveal.
Tony Grossi!
Was it really?
Yes.
That was
what a
total
knack.
guess.
How did you get that?
There's no way. That was completely like, this was not any kind of shtick. What I was actually thinking about is every once in a while he'll throw
Yeah.
out like a Blue Jackets tweet, or
Right.
something
Yeah.
like that.
How on
I don't
earth did you get that?
That's it. That was it. I had nobody else. I was thinking baseball guys, but it didn't sound. I was like with Nick. I was like, it doesn't really sound like a baseball guy. So who's it going to be? Wow.
The
That's
general.
incredible.
Tony
Obviously, I
Rosie.
didn't read it because he's got me blocked. So, so that was very legitimate. I did not cheat at all on that one.
All right, what do we think of this? Is this a winner?
I like it.
You want to keep it?
I hope it's like social enough. We'll see.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you got to see how the analytics do.
All right, Nick, all about the analytics.
Oh man, we're like the Cleveland Browns over here. Paul D. Podesta.
Right.
Nick D.
Nick
Podesta.
P. Podesta.
Amazing.
All right, that's all I got.
All right. Well,
Rough draft.
yeah, rough draft. I liked it.
I like it too.
I think the one thing that we got to hit before we punch out of here.
What?
Chris also hit on his bet last week, the one that I don't think really counted for our rankings. And the Browns traded for a receiver.
Yes.
That is true.
Chris, how did it feel when that news broke that the Browns traded the 42nd pick in the NFL draft for Elijah Moore? What were your thoughts?
Very affirming. It was a guy who I thought was kind of under the radar, or Nick and everybody else on Twitter says, "Oh, well, you didn't know? Oh, come on, this is one of the best available." All that, but it was a low key, kind of under the radar, classic move that I thought the Browns were going to make. They weren't going to make the big splash at this point, and they went and they bolstered that receiving room. Which, Nick, I think it's shaping up pretty darn good right now. As you look at it, you went from kind of with a lot of questions coming into this offseason to, wow, it looks like that could really be a lot of weapons for Deshaun Watson and somebody who can, a group of receivers that could really bring us to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at that room last year, man, it just wasn't getting it done. Like, obviously, we all love Amari Cooper. We all love Donovan Peoples-Jones. After that, though, it was really like, ugh. So I do like that they add Elijah Moore to that room. I'm treating Elijah Moore as a rookie, guys. We don't know what he truly is. We've never seen him play with a real NFL quarterback.
Yeah, no one has
knows what
any
he's
idea.
all about. You obviously haven't been on Twitter. Everybody says that he's going to be a star or he's a loser. One of the two.
I mean, he was really good at Ole Miss. Remember, his kind of rise to fame started after the craze that was DK Metcalf's run at Ole Miss, then A.J. Brown's run at Ole Miss. It was like, who's the next Ole Miss receiver? Oh, it's Elijah Moore. Oh, then he gets paired with Zach Wilson, and his career kind of falls apart, and he was disgruntled. So I'm very excited to see Elijah Moore in Cleveland with Deshaun Watson. I think that route running with Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, Donovan Peoples-Jones, it's going to be a very dynamic offense. And Chris, I think they're going to open things up a lot more. They're going to be throwing that football around the schoolyard. They also added Marquise Goodwin. There's your speedster. That's what everybody was talking about all year long, is who's the burner, who's the 4-2 guy that's going to run down the field and catch a deep pass from Watson. And I think they found it in Marquise Goodwin. Probably puts Schwartz on the outs, man.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. I think he may have been already, right?
Yeah.
I mean, on one hand, it's kind of unfortunate because I know he's gone through some mental things and he's been very outspoken about
And he's
that.
22, so it's
Yeah.
tough. Like, he still could have a nice road ahead of him. 22, world-class speed. I think that he was a little bit more raw of a prospect than the Browns expected him to be in the third round. But I'm with you. I feel for him.
Yeah, and then on the other hand, he can't catch, and that's kind of a problem.
Well, that's why I was trying to be nice, Chris, when I said that he was a little
just
bit
saying,
more
there's
of
two
a
hands.
raw prospect than the Browns imagined. Yeah.
I'm trying to show a little empathy on one hand, and on the other hand, be a typical Browns fan and say, well, he can't catch. But no, I'm excited. I don't know. Okay, let's do the grade thing. Now, Nick, after this week, what kind of a grade would you give the Browns offseason?
I'm still at a B. I am. Again, we could do the offseason paper champs thing until we're blue in the face. But until they put it together on the field, until they start winning football games
Right.
in September and October and November, when things matter in the playoffs, I'm not going to get too excited. I like the
Do
players.
you think we got better?
I do. I think they got
Okay.
better, and I think that's what warrants it to be, but you still got to win. And to win, Deshaun Watson still has to be really good. He was at times last year, but he was also really bad at times. So we'll see what happens, but I do think the Browns got better with both of these moves, Elijah Moore and Marquise Goodwin. Chris, you have a grade.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It
Oh, yeah.
remains unchanged. It's incomplete.
All right. All right.
Still, I want to see that draft.
Yep.
I think that, definitely the draft. I also think as we wrap this thing up, free agency has still got about a good month to go until we get to the NFL draft, which is 1 month from today.
Oof.
So I don't think they're done yet. I think they could still add a quality player on that defensive line. I still think they could add a safety because if Dalvin Tomlinson goes down, you're back to Jordan Elliott, Barryon Winfrey, and Tommy Togiai. So I think there still is some work to be done by the Browns as things progress. Just something to be on the lookout for. They need depth on that D-line. We've been talking about it a bunch, and they need some safety depth. What do you guys say we call it a show?
Let's
I
do
heard
it.
some rumbles. I heard some rumbles that Togiai was going to be on his way out too. So we got to replace him.
I
as
could
well.
see it.
Yeah.
I could see it.
Which
Yeah.
hurts me because he's a Buckeye and I root for him so hard and I really want him to be successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
He's somewhere
again, another young guy. Remember when people were saying like maybe did he come out a year early and that first year should have been kind of treated as like a redshirt NFL year? He's only 23 years old, so yeah, maybe they'll hold on to him for one more. But it's getting crowded, like you said last week, Chris. Kind of went quantity over quality and just adding a bunch of D linemen. So I don't know where that puts Togiai. All right, let's wrap this bad boy up. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to the Big Play Reflog Show. Huge thanks to Curtis Danburg from the Cleveland Guardians for popping in studio. Also, thanks to him for tossing us one of these beautiful Cleveland Guardians jersey. Looks awesome in studio. Can't wait to have it up all summer long. It's going to be a lot of fun. Huge thanks to Shaq News. Go check them out, shacknews.com. Huge thanks to Labatt. Go drink some Labatt and download that Tipico Sportsbook app. Use promo code BIGPLAY. Use promo code REFLOG. And when you deposit $50 using either of those promo codes, deposit 50, you're going to get $200 in free bet credits to use. Baseball's here. Cavs playoffs are going to start in a week. You want to have that Tipico app downloaded with your free bets ready to go to bet along with us all football off season long because we got 3 sports in town. We'll see you guys next week for another episode of the Big Play Reflog Show. Peace.
It's time! Streaming live from Cleveland, Ohio! Presenting the undefeated, undisputed heavyweight podcast of the world, the Big Play Reflog Show!